Welcome to the Vundacast, the official podcast of Vundablog.com, the home of whatever. The podcast that knows that if you get $7,000 to make a movie in 2 weeks, if you don't get an ulcer, you win the game of film.
Oh, yeah.
I am your host, Steven, and I am blessed today to have two of Robert Rodriguez's hand-picked next generation filmmakers. If there was like an indie filmmaking the next generation, I have fucking Captain Jean-Luc Picard and William Riker himself, Josh Stifter and Alejandro Montoya Marin. How you guys doing?
That was a pretty good intro.
That was a good intro. I don't know. Now I'm just sitting here wondering what Star Trek character I would actually be.
I went for the people in charge, the people in command, since
Right.
you guys are directors. But my original inclination was to go like Data and Geordi LaForge.
Oh, see, that's why I think I would be a Data, but with a idiot chip installed.
I don't know anything about Star Trek.
You don't know Star Trek? Oh my god, man! I grew up on that shit. I used to sneak. I was supposed to be in bed at 8 or 9 o'clock every night. This was like pre-high school. My bedtime was 9.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And it was like
standard Minnesota bedtime, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, it was like you have to be in bed at 9 and you have to be asleep by 10. But Star Trek Next Gen was on at 10:30 or no 11. So it was on from 11 till midnight. So I would pretend like I was sleeping for an hour and then get up and watch Star Trek for an hour.
Thank you.
Those must have been the sweetest dreams you ever had. Beam me into.
I wonder
sleep.
if that has anything to do with why I don't need that much sleep, because then at that point that means I was only getting 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night.
So you bred yourself to be a
non-sleeper,
hardcore filmmaker.
Yeah, a workaholic. When I was on Rebel, I was only sleeping 4 hours a night, and a lot of people were like, "Dude, you are going to burn yourself out," and I did, but I don't think it was from the sleep, because that's normal for me. Now with my kids a little older, I'll sleep 6, 7 hours, but I can go on 4 pretty easily.
I can't watch things before bed ever. I will fall asleep in them, and then I'll have to watch it 3 or 4 times if I do that. I didn't get into Star Trek till I was 20, because my brothers were super into. 2 of my brothers were really into Star Trek in the 90s, and they would just tell me how awesome it was. And then finally, from 20 to 25, every single lunch I spent just watching a Star Trek episode until I had seen the entire canon.
Nice. Literally the entire canon, including other things, or just the Next Gen?
No, Next Gen, Enterprise, Deep Space Nine.
Fuck. Yeah, you're
the movies, Voyager. Wow. I'm not up to date on the new Star Trek Discovery yet. I got 6 episodes in, and I was like, I'm gonna tap right now and come back when they know what show they're doing. Because usually on a TV show, everything's experimental the first season, and on a Star Trek TV show, that usually lasts about 3 seasons.
Right.
And for you guys were in the most experimental first season that there could be for a TV show about 5 people trying to produce 5 different films.
Right.
So you guys aren't really Next Generation. You guys are fucking Captain Kirk and Spock.
Yeah, but the thing that because I've had people bring that up before, the fact that it was the first season, they were experimenting. It'll never be as hard for any other filmmakers if they do more seasons. It'll never be as hard as it was for us. But filmmaking is never easy, so it's going to be hard for everyone. Maybe they'll have a frame of reference, and maybe the show will have more idea of what they're doing, but it'll never be easy. Would you agree with that, Alejandro?
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel that because the first season was so experimental and so hit or miss, and they hadn't encountered some of the problems. I think that if there's a season 2 or 3 or 4, they would be perfecting it. So it's
what was your sleep schedule like on the show?
Ollie, what was your sleep schedule, man? Because it was fucked.
Yeah, mine was pretty fucked. I would get home when everyone was waking up. So there was a a rebel that would make a lot of noise. Her name starts with a BK, Ryan. She would fucking
Not naming names.
She would walk like she was like Bigfoot size, even though she fucking weighs like 120 pounds. Like it, duh, duh, duh. It was ridiculous. So I never slept.
Women's shoes have more echo. It's a nature thing.
There were flip flops or there were like loafers. There were loafers, dude. It's like hearing a really heavy grandfather walk.
I remember one time I came in and like I felt so bad, but you were sleeping and I had to do laundry because Daniel's suit had to be washed because we had sprayed blood all over it. And I felt so fucking bad. Like that was the worst I've ever felt in my life, was having to put clothes into the washer knowing you were sleeping.
Did I wake up?
You woke up when I moved it over to the dryer and you were like, "Hey man, can you not do that?" And I was like, "Dude, it's Daniel's costume." And you were totally understanding. You just like looked at me and were like, "I get it." And you went back to bed.
Why did I even try?
I don't even remember that, dude.
Yeah, it was the second week.
Yeah.
Like one of the last days. And it was the day after I had just covered Daniel's the back of Daniel's suit with blood.
Yeah, definitely. The last couple of days, I'm like, no, they're a mist. Like it was ridiculous. I was so tired.
And then the second time I made a fool of myself while everyone was sleeping. It was Saturday morning. We had wrapped the show, I think, or it was our first Saturday, so we had the day off, and everyone was like sleeping, finally resting, and me being a dad, I was fucking up at like 7 o'clock. I had slept in. So I was like awake at 7:30, and I'm like, I'm gonna make myself a nice egg meal. I'm gonna make eggs, and I set off the fucking fire alarm in the house, the smoke detector, making eggs. I felt so bad.
I remember that.
So there's some alternate cut probably out there somewhere where they could have like turned you into the villain. Where
God, where it's just like
purposely set off those eggs just to fuck with Alejandro and everybody.
I don't think there's any way to even edit it that way because my face was so like, I'm so fucking sorry, everyone. Like I was just frantically trying to get it to stop. I ended up pulling the fire detector out of the wall and throwing it like across the room, trying to break it because I couldn't get it to stop.
Dude, they probably have so much footage of us that's like check. I mean, Josh and I used to like drink together quite often.
I drank every night. The only reason I slept 4 hours was because I would get fucked up drunk and pass out.
We got drunk a couple times. Remember that time I got really wasted and I was just jumping into your bed and shit?
Dude, he crawled into my bed with me one night and sang Blink-182 songs to me as I tried to fall asleep.
I'm super drunk.
Yeah, he's super drunk, just laying next to me going, I took her out. It was a Friday night.
Not even made like the blooper reel for the show. Come on, guys.
Oh my God. I wish there were because we did a bunch of shit. Like we worked our asses off, but when we would have time off, we would really like, well, some of us would really like just be friends.
We had to let loose. We would let loose. Or there's also another cut of that show somewhere that's just like the most heartfelt, deep conversations ever. Which is like shocking because we were so emotional based on the lack of sleep, having cameras on us all the time, all this shit. So there's definitely a cut somewhere out there of like Alejandro and I talking about life. Just like as deep as could be, and they'll never show that.
It's not exciting.
It basically sounds like you're saying they have a version of the real world that they could have shown, and they decided to do the docuseries after all.
Right, they did. That's actually 100% the truth. They so much could have. There was like a moment where and apparently this was in the show, in a cut that was about to air, and they cut it for time last minute. But there was a part where I accidentally dropped laundry detergent, like laundry soap, on the floor, and it spilled everywhere. And it was the same night as the episode they show where nothing is working for me, where like Brittany is flubbing her lines, and then my audio stops working, and like everything was going wrong that could go wrong. And that was the same day that I was shooting almost an eighth of my script. Like so much of my script was scheduled for that day. And I got home and I was so tired, and I kept saying like, I just want to get inside and have a beer. I just want to get inside and have a beer. And I cracked the beer, and instantly Bola started screaming and laughing that I had spilt laundry detergent on the floor. And I was like, you son of a bitch. And I slammed the beer down and went and cleaned it up. And that's when so that was in the show. But there also was this moment where they were filming me. They had 2 cameras on me, because that night we had 2 cameras on us. And there was 2 cameras on me filming me. And they were like, Josh, what, like, are you stressed out? Are you angry? And like the calm washed over me. And I just like looked at the camera and I'm like, hey, at least I'm cleaning up soap. Like, this is as clean as it gets. I could be cleaning up my kid's like shitty diaper thrown across the wall, and that it could be so much worse right now. This isn't so bad. I'm going to clean this up and then enjoy a beer. And apparently that didn't make the cut.
So how, is there anything that was like, while it happened, you're like, oh, 100,000%. This will be in the show, in my storyline, and it didn't show up?
Jeez, that one, I don't know.
I definitely know. There was a part where we had the dude who plays Father Raymond, the old guy. His name's Ray. What's his last name? Ray Waters. Dude is an awesome actor, and but he's older dude. And it was a hot day, and the construction crew that came onto my set that was like destroying my audio, they were in full bloom that day. There was like constant trucks backing up. They were knocking over walls. It was terrible. So I drove the van like maybe a mile down the street, and I had Ray in the van, and we covered it in blankets. We put up like this whole ADR booth, and it was amazing. Like the booth was awesome in the van, because that's what I do for a living, is like audio recording for animations. So like I knew how to set it up so it would sound good and whatever. We set up this awesome booth. We drove a mile down the road. We had all the cameras with us and whatever. And we had this, 80-year-old dude in the car doing ADR in 95-degree weather in a fucking black van covered in blankets. And he killed it. He killed it, but I was like, there's no way they're not going to show this, because it makes me look like an asshole a little bit, but it also shows the dedication of the actor to like get in the van at his age, do
Sweat
that. And he just did it. He did like 4 takes of each line. He got out sweating his ass off, and that's like some of the best audio in the movie. And I was like, Ray, if this doesn't make it in the show, I will be shocked. And then it didn't make it in the show. I was blown away.
Wow. That sounds like a pretty dope visual. I don't know. That should have made the cut. I agree. 100%.
What about you, Ollie? There's got to be.
There's got to be to grasp it.
I don't remember, man. Like I don't remember, honestly.
You guys were going pretty fast though, weren't you, Ollie?
Yeah, we were going fast, man. We had to shoot like, I wanted to get as much coverage as possible, and as the days progressed, I think by day 3, I was really, really comfortable with handheld. So we just went, dude. Like we just went. So I really don't remember, like there's times where I talk to Anna. I still talk to the whole team, except Marcel, and they tell me something and I'm like, oh shit, I don't even remember that. No, I really don't.
Yeah, you definitely, but your personality is very live in the moment.
Is that how you're going to approach Millennium Bugs? You're just going to, once you get that money, you're just going to go after it?
Oh, once we get the money, I immediately start making phone calls and we start pre-pro or continue pre-production, because we already had funding for it. But the guy that wanted to give us the $50,000 was like changing a lot of stuff, but a lot of crucial stuff, like like a third character, like not even like secondary important, but like third needed to be like, oh, I need like 5 more pages. I'm like, no, you know what? You're giving me $50K, not $1 million. I'm doing it for free. You know, like all the money went to the screen, so not worth it.
Yeah, there's no point in giving up control for
no, exactly. So
a reasonable amount of money.
Yeah,
do it for an unreasonable amount of money. Come on.
Yeah. But yeah, no.
So Millennium Bugs is currently live right now on Indiegogo. What are we at right now? 12K, 13K?
We just jumped to 13,600. Yeah, that was pretty great.
Whoa, I'm in on Millennium Bugs and I'm pretty excited about it. It sounds like a cool project. It's set in the 90s. It's a buddy comedy, correct?
Yeah, it's a dramedy about 2 best friends who very different backgrounds kind of reach a point in their lives where they have to make a big change that'll change the rest of their lives. And this is all going during the last week of 1999 and the Y2K craze. So it kind of like emphasizes the pressure and the unwillingness of society for change, which is kind of like what they're going through.
That's a pretty dope.
And I think you should really. I mean, it definitely is a dramedy. But like the drama of it is hard. Like it has so much heart. I've read the script and I could just.
Oh yeah, you did read the script. We just spoke about this like a day ago.
Yeah, and the thing that I like best about it is a lot of dramedies. The drama is like kind of bullshit. Like I have a hard time with a lot of dramedies. This is like comedy with a lot of heart.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. Like it's very
Apatow-esque?
Yeah, like Apatow, where it's not so dramedy where you're watching and you're going like, okay, they're trying to hit the drama hard. The drama's there, but it's always coded in this. It has a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's more like a filter than a than like.
And the drama isn't faux. There's no drama where you're just going like, okay, they're just putting the drama to really hit home some stupid faux emotion. This is like real stuff that people deal with.
Well, yeah, I'm excited. I like what you were saying about the whole like a mask, because that's how we when I wrote it, and then when I was talking with Leonard Harris and Ian Perez, who helped me with the script, there was this like layer. Everything is like a smoke, and the smoke is the comedy, because in between is them going through their real shit. So they always air of intoxication, so they don't deal with the problem. They always go out and drink and do shit. And
so, is it a stoner movie?
No,
it's more like an alcoholic movie.
I wouldn't call it that either, though. I don't think that the alcohol and drugs and whatever they're not really the drama of the movie. They're an element of it, and there definitely is that, but everything feels so things that we all can relate to, stuff that everyone goes through. Like there's an element of like failed relationships and things that like every person can relate to.
I think setting a movie against the Y2K, millennium hype and stuff is like genius thematic storytelling. Like that's and it hasn't been done. Like I can't remember a movie set during 1999.
Yeah, right. No,
right off the top of my head. No,
that was my boy. That was my boy Ian. My boy Ian was just like, "Hey, we should do a movie. We should do a movie during the Y2K craze." And I'm just like, "Yeah." And then I had this idea. I've always wanted to do like a true romance kind of movie where
love true romance. Yeah,
I love true romance, and true romance is like the new Bonnie and Clyde, and then what later became Natural Born Killers, and and I was like, man, I really want to do a movie about that, about a couple who just love each other, and it's kind of like Run Lola Run, and just like their passion and in this grimy world around them. And then when he said that, I immediately was like, well, there it is. We have a male character and a female character that are the leads. and then it just started ricocheting to like, well, let's give it a heart this time, you know?
Yeah.
You got me sold. I'm in. Sounds dope. Everybody, you should go to Indiegogo right now. Support Millennium Bugs. Okay, quick trivia question. Do you know the connection between Alabama from True Romance to the larger Quentin Tarantino universe? What character is she connected to?
Yeah, to
in Tarantino films.
Pulp Fiction, a fucking belt pen, a fucking magic marker.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, what I was looking for was that I believe Mr. White in Reservoir Dogs says that he worked jobs with Alabama and that she's a good little thief.
Oh, I thought you meant like the actor. So
No. Not the Arquette connection. No. I'm going character trivia. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, I didn't know that.
Deep
Interesting.
Yeah. And then the other connection is that the producer of the Vietnam War movie that ends up dying in the shootout.
Yes.
Right.
His last name is Donowitz. So the reason why he's into war movies is because he's related to the Bear Jew, Donowitz.
Oh, nice.
From Inglourious Bastards.
Dude, I would never have known that, but that's amazing trivia. And instantly I knew what you were talking about when you said Donowitz. That's cool.
Donowitz, boom, boom. So that's kind of some of my deep core nerdity.
That's cool.
So I have a question for you, Alejandro.
Fuck you. I'm not going to answer
it. Doing this Indiegogo.
Yeah.
Have you seen more personal interaction with people from it? Have people seemed like more interested, like sending you messages, contacting you on Twitter, Facebook? Like has this campaign brought in interest to people?
Yeah, man. Honestly, I've never done one because I've always been under the criteria of like, dude, you should be able to fund your art. If you're gonna be an artist, you got to find a way to do it. So I've always supported to like, I don't know how many, man, like 50 maybe.
Sure.
And when I was forced to just say, you know what, thank you so much for the money, but it's not the story I want to tell. It's not the story I want to spend 6 months to a year with.
Right.
And I decided to do it. I was very afraid that we weren't going to get the response, or because, you were on a reality show.
Dude, oh my God, don't get me started. Yes.
You know, it's like, one person actually told me, and this is a funny question. One person actually asked me, doesn't Robert like give you money? I'm like, dude, no.
Yeah. Dude, I had a bunch of people. So my Patreon, when I left for Rebel, I had 50 patrons.
Yeah.
And I think 6 of my patrons 6 of the 50 have stayed. And now I'm at 50 again, finally. All new patrons. Because everyone left. They all ditched, going like, well, you don't need money. You were on TV. And it's like, no, I need it more now than ever. Like now I have to prove that I can do it without the reality show.
Yeah.
Did those replacement 50 patrons, are they paying more or the same as the previous patrons?
I'd say they're paying the same, but they're more interactive and care more. Like it's people like you and people like, the people who found it from the show, who truly love the show and now realize that the Patreon is a way for them to interact with me and communicate with me. So a lot of the people who have jumped on now are doing what I wanted this Patreon to be from the beginning. People who ask me questions. Like one guy pops on every once in a while and he's like, hey man, I saw you did like a 16 millimeter and 8 millimeter thing in the last video. How did you do that? And I love answering those questions. Like that's why I fucking do it, is to answer these questions. I don't like making tutorial videos because I don't know what people care about learning. So I prefer when people come to me directly and ask me.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I feel that I was joking about it with a friend. I'm like, you want to see who really supports you? Start an Indiegogo.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then...
John Staffler is there for you, motherfucker.
Oh, dude, like, that was what I was going to say was that I am incredibly, like, I'm happy. It brings me a smile to my face, and it's like, you know, like if I die tomorrow, I'll be fine with it. I'd be okay. Like I seeing those numbers go up, and more than anything is like the backers. Like, dude, there's 170 people or 66 or 67, something like that.
Sure.
People believing in you. It just makes me like, fuck yeah.
Right.
That's one whole theater.
Yeah, exactly. That's a theater, and it makes me like, damn, I'm definitely gonna fucking work hard to make this movie as best as I can. Or like, this is where I'm at in my best game.
And I had, speaking of theaters, I had a screening at the South Texas Underground Film Festival a couple weeks ago, and it was there was no one there that I knew. Like, these were all new people, all people there for the festival and stuff like that. And that was the first time in a theater I really, like, I felt this weird, like, joy.
Yeah.
Because they were watching the movie. People who, they weren't my family. They weren't laughing because they knew me. They weren't there because they had to be. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't feel any obligation to be there or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had great experiences with these screenings where, you know, there are random people at the screenings, or there's like, you know, people who are friends of friends who see it and they really enjoy it. But at the end of the day, they're still connected to me in some way, where they're like, oh, I came because my friend told me to come, and, you know, they're sort of predisposed to like it. At this screening, there was no reason why anyone there should have liked it. In fact, I don't even think they knew I was in the theater, because there was no introduction. There was no, like, call out that I was there. So I was just sitting in the back, and I wasn't even dressed like myself. So if there was someone there who was like, oh my God, it's the guy with the burger hat from Rebel. Like, I wasn't dressed like that at all. Like, I had a t-shirt and shorts on. So it was totally different. And hearing people laugh and watching people like one dude at one point smacked his, like, not smacked, but like bumped his girlfriend on the shoulder and then pointed at the screen like, that was funny. That was fucking funny. Like, holy shit, man. That is like the best feeling I have ever had in my, that was like, it's, I compare filmmaking to having my kid all the time, because it's the only time I feel emotion, because I'm an emotionless fuck. But like, seeing that happen was that same feeling I got the first time my kid said something that made me laugh.
Well,
where it's like, holy shit, this is like a human being who's funny. Seeing someone else laugh at my stuff that doesn't know me and doesn't know I'm there was like, holy shit, maybe I'm funny.
Or maybe Avery's just hilarious in his underwear.
Oh,
well, that's true. That's 100% true. Well, and the one that made everyone laugh was actually Daniel's reaction, or like the one that got me that made everyone laugh was Daniel's reaction at that scene where he's like, he says, "Have you ever had a workplace romance before?" And then it zooms in on Daniel's face, and he's like, "I can't say that I have." And like, the audience just burst out laughing, and I was like, holy shit, that is a joke that I never thought people would laugh at. That's such a Daniel and me joke. Like, it's just funny to us. And the fact that people laughed just felt amazing.
that's pretty funny. I do
follow your instincts. That's what Robert would say. So what type of advice did Robert give you guys? Like, when you guys were gonna screen movies and stuff, is there advice after that point? Once production's done, hands off?
Was there
any prep to re-enter the real world? Is kind of what I'm trying to say.
I mean, from Robert's like push to us was always just follow your instinct.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, go with your heart. So that's why, as I went out and I was like, man, I want to see this on some screens, my heart told me I wanted to see it in some theaters. So that's why, you know, we had to pay out of pocket to get the movies into film festivals. So I just started submitting to film festivals that I was like, well, this is one I would like to go to. And I'd say I probably got into 60%, maybe 50% of the festivals I submitted to, which apparently is really good. Mm-hmm. Most people say it's like 20% you get into or less.
Well,
so I felt okay about that, but it's still, you know, like, I'm trying to make my next movie out of pocket. Mm-hmm. So any money spent that doesn't go anywhere feels like a massive waste.
Would they have let you use the $7,000 towards film festivals if you had
No.
thought so?
No, it all had to be done. It had to be done before, or 7,000 had to be approved before South by Southwest.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I had, I don't know, I could say this, right, Holly?
What
I spent my money on?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So I had like $1,000 left over, like at the end, like after the movie was done. So I paid a dude to make a poster, and this was like after we had submitted the movie for South by. So it was already like, I was out of my control, anything with the actual movie. And so I still had some money. So I paid Daniel, and I paid for a poster to get made. And I paid my my score guy a little bit extra. Like I just made sure that everyone who deserved to make a little bit of money made some money.
Yeah.
As they should. Fuck.
Because Daniel didn't make anything. He made like zero off of the movie. He flew himself out. He paid for all of his own Ubers. He paid for all of his own food. He paid for all of his own lodging, except for when he stayed at the ranch. So
but
Daniel
wasn't he your +1? Don't +1s get like, per diem and everything?
No.
No,
he didn't get per diem. No, he only got paid whatever the show paid. Like, because you get paid to be on reality TV, but it's like minimum wage. Like, it's whatever. It's not much. So all of that money that he got paid went towards paying for his flight and stuff. So he basically broke even or spent like a couple $100 to come on the show, and then I just paid him a little bit of money.
So then Kenneth and Ryan both basically fit their own bills too, Alejandro?
Oh yeah.
Damn, that's dedication. They believe in you guys. Fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, that's the thing. That's why I was sitting when Daniel showed up, and you can see it on the show. When Daniel showed up, and I gave him that big hug, and I'm not a hugger at all. I don't hug, and I barely hug my children. Like, I do not like to hug. And Daniel showed up, and I gave him that big hug. Because I knew he had spent money on stuff. He was there. He cared. He cared so much that he was there for me, and it meant a lot. Like, it meant a lot. I was so nervous that I was going to break down crying. And, like, I didn't want to be the one who was on the show crying, because I'd already seen Scarlett cry a bunch. I'd already seen Bola cry a bunch. Everyone was crying, and I'm like, I don't want this to be the crying show. Do not cry. And Daniel showed up, and I was like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. So instead I started cracking jokes and got through it.
Wow. Josh is also currently, if you go to patreon.com/Flush Studios, you can support Josh's film that he's currently working on, Greywood's Plot, which is also a film about friendship, but it ain't set in 1999.
And it definitely isn't the buddy comedy people are hoping for. Daniel and I, when we started doing Greywood's Plot, we did it like 2 years ago as this like experiment in filmmaking, seeing what we could do, and we failed miserably. But we found this amazing story while we were failing, and when we were on Rebel, like the last day, I was like, dude, you know the one thing I regret? And he's like, that we didn't finish Greywoods. I was like, yes, that's it. Like, why didn't we finish? He's like, dude, we just weren't ready. We're ready now. So we came back and we just jumped right into it. We started writing and we started thinking about what is this movie about? And it's sort of an anti-buddy movie. Like, it's sort of the moving on of friendship, or the way that friendships evolve in a strange way sometimes. And it's not a statement about like friendships are set up like friends who start as friends when they're young aren't going to grow together. It's not about that. They do grow together, but there's this element of like, sometimes people move on and change, and sometimes things take a turn in life. And man, does this movie take a turn. It's fucked up. It's so incredibly fucked up.
I'm super excited. The some of the Chupacabra stuff I've seen, the designs are just so dope. It's worth subscribing to Patreon just to see.
Thank you, man.
Some creepy ass Chupacabras and cryptozoological creature footage.
I just got some images of what this shit's about to look like, because we're still filming. We filmed 3/4 of the movie, and I've cut 3/4 of the movie. I'm in like picture locking right now. And so what I did was this is getting kind of technical, but I broke the movie down into reels. So every reel is like between 12 and 20 minutes. And so reel 1 and reel 2 are 100% done. Like reel 2 needs to be scored still, but it's like really close to finish. Whoa. Reel 3 and 4 are edited, but I'm like fine tuning them and doing sound design now. Reel 5 has most of it shot, but then reel 6 and 7 still need to be finished. And most of it needs to be shot. We have some stuff shot, but a lot of the stuff needs to be shot. Anyway, there's a costume element that we're making that's in reel 6 and 7, and whoa. I'm seeing stuff back now. Holy fuck. I'm so impressed by what my friends have done.
As a Patreon producer, I'm very proud of you.
I can't wait,
you, sir.
And keep it up. Alejandro?
I'm a Patreon subscriber to Josh. It's fun shit.
I'm trying hard, and the thing is like for everyone who subscribed, there's a different element that's involved, and I find that some people who pay more become more involved, even if I don't post as much for them, because I try to keep it so that everyone gets a lot of content, or as much content as I can provide. Mm-hmm. But what I'm finding is the people who subscribe for like $10, like $5, $10, and $20, they are more actually involved in the process. I'm sending them footage. Engaged. Or like, or if you want to read the script, or if you want to actually give feedback, you are more than welcome to. I love that. I love having producers, quote unquote producers. You're not giving that much money that like you have to feel obligated. But if you want to if you want to be involved, you are welcome to. I love that. That's like the fun of this. The fun of filmmaking for me is a bunch of artists getting together and making art together.
That's beautiful. You hear that? That is Josh Stifter officially inviting you to be his producer on Patreon.
Legit.
And get some blood on your fingers. He'll provide the blood.
I do. And I send fucked up stuff every now and again.
Including nudies and whatever.
Yeah, dude.
So pretty soon, I believe next week, both movies will finally be airing on Rey Network.
Is it next week already?
Isn't it the 21st, 22nd?
Oh, yeah, shit. Is that already? Yeah.
My time schedule, my time space continues all messed up. Okay, it is 2 weeks officially away.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah.
2 weeks. Do you guys have anything planned personally to
I do. Daniel and I are going to do, and I think Jennifer is going to jump on as well, but we're going to do an audio commentary of the episode as it airs on Rey for Patreon.
Whoa. Dope.
Yeah, so we're gonna go live. We're gonna set up a camera and just bullshit in front of some microphones while it airs and talk about the process and make some jokes, have some drinks, and have a good time with anyone who wants to come out and watch on Patreon.
The whiskey will flow. Whoa.
The whiskey will flow.
We're having a party. It's just a small little get together, just to watch it with the people that were involved that are from here, and that's pretty much. So that'd be cool because I'll get to do that for mine, and then when Josh's movie screens, I'll follow him with the live podcast.
That'd be sweet. Daniel and I talked about doing like a public screening because we have a bar in Minnesota who plays Rey like all the time. They really dig Rebel and everything that we've been doing, so they play it, and they've kind of gotten into Rey recently. So we debated going there and watching it with everyone, and then I just kind of was like, you know what? I think it'd be fun to watch it just the three of us, or like maybe Daniel's wife will come out or something, but just a small group of us, and then do it on the Patreon so that people can watch and listen to the conversation. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That's right. I wish there was a bar that just showed Rey Network in my town. Fuck. Miami sucks.
Cool.
It was funny. They play it in Austin and in Corpus Christi on a lot of the, because it's Robert. He's in Texas. I think that's
for sure
the connection. But Daniel and I went into a bar in Austin one time, and it was playing on the TVs in the bar, and they kept playing ads for Rebel, and there was like this weird, awkward, like, dude, I'm on the TV again. This is weird.
That sounds dope.
So next time you guys show up in Austin, you'll be as big as Yoko Ono.
Oh no, I go to Austin all the time, and I'm still nobody. I'll forever be nobody. Do you think what's the point where that actually happens? Like, do you guys think that there's a point where, like, especially as a director, I mean, I guess because we're the face of the movies on Rebel, maybe there's more of a chance, but like,
I think time plus exposure, eventually,
sure,
everyone's grandma figures it out. Okay.
Like if James Cameron walks into a bar, everyone's like, it's fucking James Cameron.
Yeah, well, whenever you get to do 5 epic films like him, then I'm probably, but
right.
When I was a kid, my mother had no idea who Kevin Smith was. And like 4 years ago, finally she was like, "Oh, don't you like that Kevin Smith?" And I was like, "Oh shit." It permeated finally to her.
Right.
I think it's when you start, you're constantly, I guess, doing movies that are like impactful for pop culture, because you just named Cameron and Kevin Smith, Robert. Like, they've impacted pop culture. Mariachi impacted, Clerks impacted, Dogma, fucking Terminator 2.
And he's all and like Kevin's in his movies, so he's like a face that is recognizable as Silent Bob.
Yeah.
But like James, do you think James Cameron is that way?
Well, look at Robert, man.
Well, I think after you make like $2 billion in movies, yeah, people figure it out.
Right.
But probably, I bet you before like Terminator 2, nobody knew James Cameron's face.
Right.
The Abyss, he still had that, they were still ready to toss him aside.
Does Michael Mann walk into a bar and everyone's like, it's Michael Mann?
No, I don't think a lot of people know how Michael Mann looks.
Right, exactly. Yeah, because he's not the face of it. Like, I would know. I'd be like, it's fucking Michael Mann. I remember we were at Troublemaker one time, and John Landau walked into the room.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, it's fucking John Landau.
Whoa.
And I know John Landau from I watched, like, I was obsessed with behind the scenes on Titanic. So I knew him from Titanic, but that's just because I didn't like I just all of the underwater stuff, all the deep sea diving stuff was like fascinating to me. Yeah. So I knew John Landau from that stuff. And I remember like being in the room just going like, it's fucking John Landau. And Bola and BK looked at me like, who the fuck is this guy?
And you were like, bow your head, lowly dog. Like, that's John Landau.
He's one of the most. He's made more money as a producer than any other fucking producer of all time. Yeah. And he's wearing a fucking. I don't know. It just cracks me up. But he's wearing the same shirt that my dad wore.
A Johnny was like a shirt or a Hawaiian shirt. It was just chill.
It was totally it's like a deep sea fishing shirt. And I was just like, dude's wearing a deep sea fishing shirt.
He didn't give a shit. He just comes in like, hey, what's going on? Oh, who's these guys? Oh, hey, nice to meet you. Like, he was just cool as shit.
He was cool as shit. And then he goes, I remember when I was working, Robert was like, these guys made their movies for $7,000. They had to go through all the trials and tribulations of making a movie for no money with no pre-production time. And John Landau is like, oh yeah, I remember when we were making Titanic, that we were struggling to get the first day going. And we went out there the first day, and I'm just sitting there going like, did you just compare my $7,000 movie to Titanic?
Dude, fucking the donuts on a one-day set of Titanic cost $7,000.
I know, no doubt. Yes, exactly.
Like he didn't comprehend that shit. He's like, you peon.
No, I think I think he did.
I just think it's funny.
I know. But I think he totally did, in as much as he was saying like it's hard on any shoot. Like it was his way of saying, hey guys, it never gets better.
Yeah. Like, dude, imagine the problems these guys have. Imagine the problems these motherfuckers have. Like, it's impressive. Like, and say what you will, because shooting Monday, like, I really, really made me say, you know what, man? even if you don't like the movie, there's something savable about it, like Michael Mann, like a Michael Mann film. Say what you will, but the guy knows how to compose really nice shots.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in an action film where you have to make a bunch of shots, or not shots, but like things that elevate the heart rate, release, be composed properly, and in sync.
Right. No, it's so hard. And the thing that I realized on Rebel more than anything, or with The Good Exorcist, like through this process, was how do I put this without sounding like a douchebag? I guess I'm just going to say it the way I'm thinking it. How much respect I have for the fact that I was able to finish it. Because it would have been so easy for me to see every flaw and be like, fuck this, I'm not putting it out there. This will not be my first movie.
Yeah.
But I did, and now, a year later, I can look at it and be like, man, I'm so glad I made that movie. Like, I'm just glad that I did it. Even if no one ever sees it or gives a shit, for me, it's helped me move on and feel proud of the fact that I can call myself a filmmaker.
I agree with you. It's a really, sorry?
No, go.
It's a really beautiful experience to say, like, I can see the show and it'll bring back memories. And not only did you get to meet, like, one of your idols, like, this is man along with Tarantino, Spielberg, Bigelow, Scorsese was the reasons why I went into film, and seeing his 10-minute film schools on the Blu-rays and DVDs, and I got to tell him, I got to do a movie, I got to meet people like Josh and like the filmmakers that I like really get along with and I consider my friends, and we got to make a movie and open at a big film festival, like one of the film festivals you admire. It's like it's awesome. It's one of the best moments of my life.
Right. And it's only like, the other thing is I've played at whatever, 10 to 12 15 screenings, probably 10 to 12 film festivals, whatever it's been. And like, I never would have had that experience if I hadn't finished it.
Yeah.
So does the joy of being selected, does that equal the satisfaction of finishing?
Yes, 100%. Like so when I got accepted onto the show, I seriously thought I was going to fail. Like, the reason why I wrote the script for Daniel and picked Daniel to come along is because I thought we were going to fail. I went, there's no way that they're going to put me on this show and want me to succeed. They're going to push me to fail. They're going to produce this in a way that reality shows produce it. And in the end, it's going to be a shitty product. No film festival is going to want it. No one's going to want to see this movie. There's going to be no inspiration that comes from it. It's just going to be awful. But we can go on a dad vacation, go get drunk, go meet some new people, and go have a fucking blast. And we did, but it turns out I love the movie. Like, I love The Good Exorcist. So much so that I'm trying to get a sequel made. And I've been writing, I'm trying really hard because I love it that much. And that was never the intention. I never thought that was going to happen, just because of it's reality TV. Nothing good ever comes from reality TV, right?
Father Gill came from reality TV, so reality TV can't be all bad. Goddamn.
Exactly. So, and that's the crazy thing. So, like, I'm just like, not only did I get to work with, and the way Alejandro said it is like working with one of my true like heroes, more so than I even realized. Like, I love Rebel Without a Crew, the book, and it's been my Bible for 6 years, I think now. So I got the book late. I got it 6 years ago, and I just read it over and over and over and over again. But it wasn't until my mom and I were talking right before I went on the show where I remembered, oh, my dad was a huge Desperado and El Mariachi fan.
Wow.
And even my dad doesn't remember it as well as Mom and I did when we talked about it, where my dad used to quote the movie to me as a kid. Like, he would quote Desperado all the time. He loved Desperado. He saw it twice in the theater. This is a man who can't stay awake through a new movie ever. My dad went and saw Desperado twice in the theater.
I'm a hype.
So, what's that?
Salma Hayek was on it.
No, I know, right? No doubt. It was that, and then like all of
he was
those,
into
like,
Buscemi. Come on.
Yeah, and all the Buscemi. Oh yeah.
I love Buscemi.
But it's like it was a movie that was more influential than like anything else to me because my dad would sit there and like talk about it all the time. He'd tell me about like if he saw a guitar case, he immediately would be like, I bet it's filled with guns. And that's because of those movies. Like he loved that shit. And so it was influential to me as a kid without even having seen them. And you know, like Daniel was saying before we went and saw Alita, he was saying, man, the last time I remember going to see a movie that we were super excited about visuals was Sin City. Like that's the last movie that Daniel and I went to where we were like, man, I just can't wait to see the spectacle of this.
Yeah.
Well,
like I forget how much Rodriguez has influenced me over the years, especially now that like we've worked with him, we've talked to him in person. Like I get emails from him.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, do you guys still text his phone? That's taboo.
No, I email with him every once in a while, but we don't text him.
Yeah, no. Nah, he's a busy man.
That's the thing. Like he is the busiest person I know.
You have more restraint than I would know. I'd be every 5 seconds like, look at my dog. Oh my god. What's going on everything now?
Well, we also, I mean, like part of the show was we learned like a respect for Troublemaker. Like everyone at Trouble, like for me, it like not messaging. I have Steve Joyner's phone number. Like not messaging Joyner is about as hard as it gets. Because Joyner to me is like the biggest celebrity I've ever met.
I know. I would be watching like every movie that they've done and just being like, so how did you stab that head that time?
Right.
What's the story behind this? Like, whoa. That's fucking dope. So just backtracking for a second to the advice about the stress on the first day of the Titanic.
Yeah.
Those first 3 days just being thrown into, you know, like you're basically committing to these huge decisions on actors, on locations,
right,
based on
the pre-pro day,
minutes of interaction and, you know, studying and, you know, deciphering. How insane were those first days? Like how, because the show, it like all we really get of it is like Scarlett's breakdown, but I don't feel like the show really grasped the scope of the fear.
You know, I think one of the things that they also don't show is the amount of like calm we all had because of each other. So like, yes, we were all terrified. We were all doing pre-pro as fast as we could, figuring this shit out. But we were also bullshitting with each other and going like, hey, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? So there was lots of moments where we were bouncing ideas, comforting each other. Like there was a point, I think it was like day 4, where Ollie and I sat down and just ate tacos together, the breakfast tacos. I think did you get those breakfast tacos?
Thanks. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And you got me a breakfast taco and we just bullshitted for like, maybe it was like an hour, but it felt like on that every hour felt like 6 hours.
Yeah.
So it was like an hour where we were just like kind of figuring things out. And he was talking about like his issues with his actors, and I was talking about my issues with being nervous about Daniel, and like talking about how I have never cast or like never worked with professional actors before, so I don't know what they're going to bring to the table. And those kind of moments really like mellowed me out personally.
Yeah. No, they were stressful, obviously, because you start, you know, you start seeing like, oh my God, we're a couple of days away. So it's put out fires and then don't lose your shit when you're waiting for a fire to get put out or not. It's like, you know, I have to talk to this person. Oh, they'll get back to you in a couple of hours, and you're just like, what do I do now? I could just sit down. No, I'm gonna go meet people. You know, you're trying to make the best of it as well. So no, they were pretty stressful, man. They were.
But do you remember, Ollie, that Saturday morning where we went to the photo shoot for the poster and stuff?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Don't you remember the what's it called when we were loading all the props and shit? They didn't tell us.
Oh, when we started just packing stuff up? Are you talking about like we were doing the photo shoot? You and I took off. Yeah, see, they don't show that shit. But we were supposed to be doing a photo shoot, and Ollie, Scarlett, and I ran out to the props place, and we started like packing up all of our shit.
Yeah,
and like those are the moments that you don't see, but they're like those were the things that were kind of comforting to me. Where it's like, okay, I've got my props now. I've got what I need. And we would do that in these. We were kind of multitasking in this crazy way of like. When we were doing a photo shoot, we'd also be sending out call sheets to our cast.
correct.
Or getting the props or whatever. So there was a lot of like downtime between the like things you see, which that was like a day you don't even see it. We didn't have like cameras on us or whatever.
No, we didn't have cameras, but we were like, we were working. That was like the fullest day.
Oh yeah, that was the work day. That Saturday was the most work I ever got. That Saturday and Sunday, I worked harder than ever before.
Yeah, me too, because I remember that was the day where I got to actually sit down with the actors and be like, all right, let's go through these roles.
There's a photo of me sitting in a director's chair.
I took that picture.
Yeah, Ollie took this picture of me sitting at my computer in a director's chair in the big green screen room at Troublemaker, and I'm sending out call sheets to my cast. That's what I'm doing, is like sending them out their call sheets for Monday. Or I was doing that, and I was rewriting my script for the new location because I had gone to Star Hill Ranch. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to change this location to this. I'm going to change this location to this, and figuring out what everything was going to be. But that's why I love that picture, because that's me just like in the zone.
Yeah. I was writing my script as well that day. We were doing the same thing.
I think that is almost all our time. I don't want to take up too much of Josh's time while he's supposed to be in production of Greywood's plot right now, technically.
Right now I'm at a fun spot though where I'm like color correcting. Even though it's black and white, I'm going through and like doing lots of fun color correction stuff and messing with the shots. The cool thing about black and white is I have so much more control. Because like it's black and white, so I can fuck with focus. I can do just a ton of shit with the black and white, which is one of the reasons I chose that.
Nice.
And you know, and you just have so much more control over the highlights and the contrast. So I'm having a lot of fun with the color correction on it, and that's what I'm doing now on Reel 3. I'm on Reel 3 right now, and man, I'm really happy with this movie. It's very, very different than anything I've ever seen before, and that's coming from the guy who made The Good Exorcist. So
I can't wait, dude. I can't wait to see it.
I'm wondering, you should I know you worked on Tusk and did some dope animation on Tusk. This sounds like, you know, if you were gonna do a double feature of Tusk, this would be the movie to put right after it.
It is. That's sort of the whole idea for this movie came from me working on animation on Tusk and having read the script and kind of knowing what I was in for. And then seeing the movie and realizing like I had a different story to tell in that same body horror world. So the movie is very, very different, but it's definitely inspired by Tusk.
Yeah.
Like it's what I saw when I was working on the animation for Tusk. I was watching The Fly like on repeat. So it's sort of this like blending of body horrors and the story that I have to tell in the body horror genre. So I don't know if people are going to watch it and be like, oh, he just ripped that off from Tusk. The same way that people saw Tusk and were like, oh, he just ripped that off from the Human Centipede. Same way, you know, like everyone says everyone ripped everything off. But it's like, I have a different story to tell in that body horror genre. And I want it to be something that's very different than any body horror you've ever seen. And I feel like people are going to understand where I'm coming from with this when they see it.
Well, and if you subscribe on any of your podcast feeding devices to the Flush Studios podcast, you can get a free taste of all the gore and adorable familial stories of Josh Stifter and company.
Yeah, man, I'm loving doing the podcast right now. It's been super fun because the filmmaking is such hard work and I'm too poor to afford a psychiatrist. So instead I just do the podcast so I can bullshit with people like Alejandro and Antonio and my wife and people who it's a different, when you talk to people, you have a certain you don't have to fill the void of conversation. You know what I mean? But when you talk on a podcast, you actually have to talk. You have to kind of spill your guts. And I love that. I love being able to be completely honest and tell stories maybe I'd never tell or think about things the way I wouldn't think about them. So the Flush Studios podcast is sort of like listening to me at the psychiatrist, but I get to do it with other filmmakers and friends and my wife, and it's a fun time. So if you want to hear the audio commentary for The Good Exorcist airing on Rey Network, that's where you're going to find it, is on the Flush Studios podcast eventually. But if you want to hear it live, make sure to subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Flush Studios.
Right.
When Josh's eyes are swollen shut, he tells us on Patreon. When he's having a bad day, we hear about it. When he's having great days, we hear about it.
Dude, it's the most honest thing I could do. I try to keep the Patreon as honest of a documentation. It's my version of Rebel Without a Crew, the book. Patreon is my version of that.
Yeah. And I hope you don't forget that you said around this time of year you were going to start shooting and play acting with your kids and stuff and developing their filmic skills.
Dude, you
gotta get him to work.
I know, my kid's he's in Greywood's plot. We shot a scene together. It's fucking wild. He plays a little monster in the intro of the movie, and I was just filming him with the camera over the top of him as he had this mask on and he was squirming and there was blood pouring out. I was just man, this is fucked up. My kid's a little filmmaker already. He's 6 years old. and my son was on. He helped me with Stalking, which just aired, this little short film I made on a weekend, and it aired on Rey this last week. And I was like, man, my kid's a little filmmaker. He was 4 when he made that with me.
In 2 weeks, you'll see the genius of Alejandro Montoya Marin on Rey Network, and if you go to his YouTube channel, you can watch the Joneses, and I believe also Lo-Fi on there, and you could see freaking how good he was even 2-3 years ago. Oh my god, the Joneses is so good.
Dude, how much did you make?
I was so blown away by that.
How much did I? What? Sorry.
How much did you make the Joneses for?
The Joneses was $300.
Jesus, that's insane, man.
And it's so much fun.
Yeah, that was an experience because we were doing the 48. So it was we had a crew, we did have a team that wanted to just hey, let's do something this weekend. So that's how we did the 48. So we used the money for food and some props and stuff like that. But yeah, I was super. That's one of my favorite experiences on set, just because everyone was just so on board to let's just make this movie as fun as possible. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And it's really cool to see the movies back to back because inadvertently, the main character from the Joneses, who's married to, her husband is later, in Lo-Fi, he portrays a detective in a movie that she idolized when she was learning about romance. So it kind of has a sort of seeing the same company of actors doing different roles in different places. It just has sort of this meta feel to it for some reason. I don't know how to describe it, but it's fucking dope
with some cool people. And and I definitely that guy was going to be in Monday in the movie. He is in Monday, the short film, but we couldn't because of the show. Mm-hmm. But he's going to have a scene, a part in Millennium Bugs. So you'll see that.
Really?
Yeah, you'll see.
Dope.
Everyone on Monday is gonna have cameos in Millennium Bugs.
Nice. Hold on. That's a better closing question. So does Kenneth have a big role in Millennium Bugs? I love Kenneth.
Actually, I'm gonna be Jamie's in it. Jamie, who plays Jim's in it. Anna is in it. Sophia. We're gonna see if Danny. Yeah, no, Kenny plays actually 3 roles.
Fuck yeah. He should play 4. Fuck that.
I don't know anyone else, but no, I think he plays 3 roles. He has 3 roles, but they're like very minor. But you'll be able to see Kenny with prosthetics and different hair and wardrobe and shit.
What about me? Where's my part?
You're in Tuesday. You're in the.
Oh yeah.
You're like the side. He's like he's the Q. If we get Tuesday made, which we really are. We actually have a couple of people in Los Angeles seeing financing about it. But Josh has he plays Q.
That's badass. He would be a tech expert.
Yeah, he's a tech expert for weapons.
When you say Josh is in Tuesday, it makes me think of like Tarantino being in Desperado. Like that's
my god,
that's what it calls to mind.
I hope so.
Okay.
Although I hope my performance is a little better.
Like this, like let's be both honest.
Fuck you. That's the best joke Tarantino ever delivered.
It totally is. I love that scene. It's just it's so beautifully hammy.
Because the awkwardness is a part of the character. You know what I mean? Like that's
right
embedded in him.
Yeah, no.
Well, I put forth an effort acting in Greywood's plot, so it's terrible, but I can't wait for everyone to see me acting.
And we talked about it like the other day. Remember when we jump on the phone like on a Saturday and we just started shooting the shit for a bit?
We talked about that?
No, I talked about I wanted to act in one of Josh's movies.
Oh yeah, totally. Oh my god.
Yeah, you talked about it on the podcast on episode 84, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I'll put you in something. See, the problem Greywood's is this weird it's like it's literally 4 friends making a movie for $4,000. Like there are only 4 of us who are actually working on it. So it's wild. Like there's some scenes that are just Daniel and I filming. We shot a scene with me and my mom and Daniel filmed it. He actually was like the cinematographer on that scene. And it was just the 3 of us, me, my mom, and Daniel. It's wild, which is like really fun to me. So even if people don't like the movie, I don't give a shit because it is just a blast for me to do. And so
for you, like an album of pictures. It's like, look, remember this, guys?
It is. And the thing with me and my mom, it's like I got to write scenes of my mom saying some vulgar shit, and she had to do it because it's in the script. So it's hilarious to me to watch my mom say stuff that is just like completely vulgar. And she just did it. And she went with it because it was in the script. And I'm like, Mom, you can't say that. She's like, but you wrote it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I did. It's amazing. So it is. It's like for me, Greywood's plot is a movie that I'm going to put out for everyone to see. And I love it. And I think people will enjoy it. But it also is a movie that I want to look back at 10 years from now and be like, man, we did that. Like it's just a movie. It's like a photo book.
Yeah, I agree. I can't wait to see it, honestly.
And that's why like this next movie that I'm working on, which Ollie, you have a part in.
Yeah, don't fucking just do it because I asked you.
No, man, I have a part for you. I have a good part for you. I'm very excited. It's not a huge part, but it's an awesome part.
As long as it's racist, I want to be like a stereotype.
No, it's not at all. Oh, I can't wait for you to see it. No, this is not Scumbag. That's going to take a little bit longer. I legally cannot say.
Then don't legally say it. I don't have a lawyer around.
Right. I could say this. I have a budget for my next movie, and I'm very excited about it.
And I have
and Alejandro has a part in it. So hopefully, I mean, we'll see if we can work out a contract. But I'm writing a character for Alejandro in it.
Have your people call my people.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So you can expect a call from Daniel.
Yeah, exactly. What's going on, man?
Thank you guys so much for being on the Vundacast.
Thanks for having us. This has been really fun.
Yeah.
That was great.
If I had to put both you guys in a movie, I would make it Staffler and Alejandro. It would be a buddy cop action movie.
Dude, now
oh shit, we gotta do that.
Staffler's the straight man, okay? And he's like the bookworm, and Alejandro's like a frozen caveman cop that, you know, has to get reacclimated to the current century.
I'm in.
You know, Demolition Man style.
You have to fucking now write that movie. If you help me with the Southwest ticket, I'm in.
I'm in. I am 100% in for that.
Sounds fun.
Well, pack your sunscreen, bitches. Let's go.
Yeah. I'm down.
Thank you guys so much for being on the show. Everybody needs to fucking make sure they have Rey Network fucking paid for and subscribe, because Comcast has been fucking with them a little bit. You also need to, once again, go to patreon.com/Flush Studios. Go to Indiegogo, search Millennium Bugs.
Ew.
Open your wallets. There are plenty of paydays. There's like 2 or 3 paydays coming up before his Indiegogo campaign runs out. So there's no excuse for everyone who hears this to not throw a couple dollars in towards a dope-ass film and to get behind a Patreon. You could even do a one-time donation to Patreon if you so desired. But, bro, $1 a month? That ain't nothing.
Anything helps artists, man. Like $1 a month, $5 for a Patreon, $5 for an Indiegogo, man. It's whatever helps. That $5 buys coffee for everyone.
Right. It 100% does. That $1 a month is even more than that $1 a month. That number of subscribers, like if you subscribe for $1 and you never even come to my Patreon, it still means the world to me as an artist to have that number. Yeah. Because then when other people see it who are interested, they're not going like, oh, well, he only has 45 subscribers. I'm not going to subscribe. Your $1 might make someone else who is actually interested in filmmaking subscribe. So anything helps, for real.
I agree.
I have been your host, Steven. That has been Josh.
And I've been Josh, motherfuckers!
And I am Alejandro.
And remember, kids, like they say on the Flush Studios podcast, don't let your meatloaf.
Don't let that meatloaf.
Meatloaf.
I love Meatloaf, by the way. That's one of my favorite performers of all time.
Oh, I thought you meant the food, actually.
No, I hate the food. I love the man.
Oh, man. My mom used to make a meatloaf. Oh, God, it was good.
Oh, man, I love meatloaf.
I do, too. My mom made a meatloaf, and in the middle, she just put, like, this, like, thing of cheese, but it was just, like, a thin thing of cheese. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I can tell that I'm hungry because I ordered Grubhub right now.
You did? What'd you order?
I ordered a witch.
You did? Oh, witch is the jam.
You got to take care of yourself and write that meatloaf into the script. And bro.
Yeah, definitely.